Today's video is going to be an intro to Divi. So if you just had a Divi website built for you, this would be a great video to watch to get familiar on how to change images, change text, edit galleries, and do other things you may want to do, like create a new page and stuff like that. So it's going to be a very elementary level intro to editing your Divi website that potentially you just had built for you, or if you are just learning Divi, this would be a good video to watch to learn Divi in general. So let's dive right in. Okay, first things first, you go to yourwebsite.com wp-admin, and you're going to end up on this screen right here. So this is my username, that's my password, and you log in. I'll go ahead and tell the browser to save that, and now we are on the back end of WordPress. I close all these modules so this isn't overwhelming. There's really nothing to see here as far as I am concerned. So first things first, I just want to mention updates. Divi is really good about updates, and we only use 3 plugins. So there's no real worry when you are backing up, or updating our website. There's no real worry when updating a Divi website specifically that we have built for you. Number one reason we don't use that many plugins, and these are very well respected plugins that normally have no issues. Also, for hosting your website like we do for many of our clients, we back up our websites 3 times a week. So if something were to happen, we could always revert back to a prior version and fix everything. Divi also allows for rollbacks within the options. If you come to updates, you can roll back if you believe that the Divi update specifically messed up your website. So if we come here, you could potentially have a theme update. That would be Divi, since this is a Divi website. The plugins, since we only have 3, you would only see those 3 plugins available for an update. Or if WordPress itself needed to update, you would see that right here, and it's literally as easy as checking the boxes and saying update. You update themes, plugins, and WordPress one at a time. It's pretty self-explanatory, and you can always come back to updates to update anything else that you need to update. So that is that. I have a list of specific things that I'll be covering, and those are right here. So I'm going to go over Google and Bing properties, how to log in and update. We just covered that. How to change text, how to change images, how to edit a gallery. This website is using CSS classes for a specific purpose, so I'm going to explain that because I'm making this video for a client. And how to make a new page, and then they have an art events page where they would potentially want to add the next art event, and we have that just ready to go. So let's take a look at, we're gonna do this last. Google and Bing will be last. There will be timestamps in the video, so look down in the description and you can jump to whatever section you want to learn. So how to change text. This is how I recommend it to do everything, especially if you are new. If you do not see this black bar at the top, you'll see this when you're logged in to WordPress. Hit the refresh button and you should see the bar. So if the bar is not there, hit refresh and you will see it. So we're going to go how to change text. So I click on edit page, and I just prefer to use this backend builder. It seems to be more reliable and stuff like that. The front end has issues from time to time, but this is literally the same on the back. So it's going to default to this block view where you see your section, rows, and modules. That's how Divi works. And then you can look at it on a desktop or a tablet or a phone by clicking on the various icons. So say we wanted to change text. Let's come in here, and we can see right here this is wrapped in an H2 tag. What you need to know about these text modules is you have the visual, which is how you basically see it, and then the text is going to be the code version. So to make something a H2 tag, it's wrapped in H2 tags. So the code is actually very, very simple once you understand it, especially HTML, but you can do everything from the front end right here, and you could change it to whatever heading you want. This should be a H2, so we're going to leave it as a H2. and it just reverted back. So I'll make it a H2. There we go. Okay. So that's to change text like that. So we come down here and we just have some paragraph text noted by paragraph text. Anywhere we click in here, we'll see it's all paragraph text. One thing to know is the size of the text has nothing to do with whether it's a headline or not. So don't get tripped out by that. That's all handled by the styling you put on, which is in the design section. And if it's a text, paragraph text, you would edit it in the text section. If it's a headline, you would edit the appropriate H tag that is noted out as. So that's that, and then you could see what it looks like on the different screen sizes and whatnot. So right now we're using 40 pixels as whatever we're on here. We're on the H1, so it's 40 pixels. There's actually not an H1 in this, so it doesn't matter at all. If we went to text, it is 16 pixels. So that's what we're running with as our standard right here. If you wanted to add text, you would come back to your contact section and then just type in here like anywhere else, and this would be new text. If I can type, yada yada yada, new text. Okay, so you get out of there. Whenever you make any edits, you just click check. If you wanted to, you could just click right in here and start typing. So that's really just a preference, whatever you want to do. You can do it either way. I prefer to hop on the little icon. If you notice, I'm clicked in here and I don't get my gear icon to open that up. You simply need to click off and then you can come back and boom, you can do that again. Say you wanted to create another text module, you could hit the copy and boom, you have another one just like the one above it. You could edit this. So if you wanted to move this, you could move this. So we wanted this right here. We just drag and drop it down here. So I'm just going to get rid of it for right now. So see ya. So this right here looks like an image. We can click on the gear and see that it is an image. So this is an image. This right here looks like text. We can click on it and see that it is text. So if I was going to add something brand new, I'd be picking whatever I want to add, right? So to add text, you can add text like that. If you're adding an image, you would find image. This does have a search bar at the top where you can search for whatever, and that's that. So you can play around with these if you want to learn all the different things that are kind of built into Divi as far as modules go. So that's that. If we wanted to change this image right here, we'd click in here and say we come down, we wanted to switch it to this one, update, boom, switch the image, okay? So say we wanted to go back, we didn't want to do that. Let's go edit the image, come back, and it's still the wrong one, so let's go one further back, and we're back to the correct image. So if you ever mess up, you can come to your little time icon here and go back in history and see click by click until whatever you did that you didn't want to do is reversed. So that's that. So these images are a specific size. I mean, every image is going to be a size on a website. The whole idea is you would want to upload the image to your website at the largest size it would possibly display. That keeps your file size small and your pages will load faster, and speed is a ranking factor. So you want your pages to load as fast as possible. This is an artist website. It is image heavy. So it is more important on this website than others that the images are uploaded properly. And I've already introduced this client to Canva. So Canva is the easiest way, in my opinion, to make sure your images are the size that you want them to be and get them whatever the dimensions should be. So say we're trying to replace this image right here. What I recommend is come find that image in the gallery or in your media library. So I believe this is it. This is not it. It's this one right here. So this is 650 pixels wide by 400 pixels tall. So if you're replacing an image on your site and you want everything to look the same, what I recommend you do is find the image that's currently on your website in the media gallery and get the dimensions. So there are several ways to get dimensions on an image like that. If we come to this website and we click on this image and we say open image in a new tab, and then we go to inspect, click on this right here. This may be docked on the right hand side. You'll still see this button right here, and you can hover over this. Oh, there we go. And it's down there on the bottom left. So 650 by 400. So you can get this multiple ways if you need your image to be the same dimensions. So there's 2 ways right there. And then you would want to go to Canva, make your image 650 by 400 and plop it in there. Sometimes really only the width matters as far as keeping the consistency and spacing and everything going on the website. You know, if the image is a little taller, oh well. So sometimes you just need to worry about making sure it's the same width. Sometimes it doesn't matter, but I do recommend that you make sure you're uploading the images as small as you possibly can. So we'll just X out of that. If you X out, then nothing saves, and that's that. So we got change the text, we got change an image, and now we're gonna look at changing stuff within the gallery. So I don't believe we made any changes, so I'm just going to go ahead and click save just to show you what you do. You click save, it'll go through its little save process, pretty quick process. Then you'll see view page up here, and you can come and view the updated version of whatever changes you just made. Double check that everything looks good. I would recommend anytime that you make any changes, just go ahead and check them on a phone, tablet, or phone, and you can do that quickly by just resizing your browser like this. This is not going to be 100% accurate, but it's going to get you a really good idea as to if it's going to display properly on everything. So the next thing we want to do is go to photo gallery. So I'm in photo galleries now, and we need to click edit page. So we'll come to edit page, and I'll get to my visual builder mode by clicking the desktop icon. So here is our gallery module. So a gallery module allows you to house multiple images in one way and displays them in a pretty nice fashion, and then the user could click and view all of these images larger and get a little bit of additional data about that image. I'll show you what I mean real quick. We go to here and we click on this. There's the larger image, and then here is what I was talking about, the little bit of additional information, because my client wants to be able to, you know, customize this text right here. So what you would do to accomplish this is click in here. So you're always clicking into the gear icon, and then you're going to come, and now we're in the module settings right here. You can resize this. It's not going to get to a size that I really want for the video purposes, but here's where you would click to add new images. If you wanted to get rid of any of these for any reason, you could click the trash can and quickly get rid of them from right here. You also have the ability to get rid of them if you click into here. By going here, we'll see all the images that are in this gallery are noted with the check mark. If you uncheck one, it'll take it off, so we're actually just going to leave that on. But here is the text that is displaying on the screen. So you would change this text right here, and then it would update on the live version. So this is how you would do this. You'd be able to tell all of the images in the gallery based on which images in your media library have a check mark, and then you would change the title text right here, and that would change that text that displays. So that is that. So I'll exit out of there, and I believe that is all of that. I'll go ahead and just click save again. Save. And we'll go back to the front end, and we're going to look at the art events now and how they could add new art events to their website. So we are during COVID still. Hopefully this ends very, very soon. This is craziness. But, you know, obviously there aren't a whole lot of art events going on at the moment. So what I did right here is I just have this not showing on any devices. So how I accomplished that, I came to advanced, went into visibility, and I turned this, you know, this is a row, turn this row off on everything. So it's not going to display on any live version. Remember, we're logged into WordPress. So if I go back to the website and go to art events, and we come down here, we see that there's nothing showing because of how I have that box checked for it not to show on any devices. So say my client did want to show this, they were going to populate this, they would come in here, they would come to visibility, and they would uncheck it, and now you can see that it's looking, you know, like all the other content within the visual builder, and that's that. So boom, boom, boom. But it's very simple as far as coming in here. So to edit the content, you need to come into the module where the content is. This is just a text module. I have event 1 noted out as a H2 tag. So what you could do is I would always just leave 1 character so you don't lose any of your styling or anything. And then, you know, new art event 1, put in your date or dates, put in your times, put in your location, put in your description, so on and so forth. So maybe you want to link to where the event was. You could, you know, I don't recommend using click here. I would, you know, put the event name and make it clickable, but go to this. I'll just put in a pound as a placeholder, and then this website is already styling the clickable text or the link. So since it's a link, it makes the text bold, purple, and puts a green underline under it. It's a little hard to see without this being visible, so I'll come in here and do that. But that means that's a link. The regular paragraph text would just be, let's come in here and say regular text looks like regular text. So that's what's going on. I'll get rid of that. And boom. Come back here, we will disable this again, and so gone on all devices, okay, and save. So that's how to do that. And then I'm going to show you the CSS classes. So this will not apply to a whole lot of people, but if you are you know, interested in styling your website and making it look cool, do different stuff, whatever, it's all in the CSS. You may need to incorporate some JavaScript or something like that for some you know, more difficult or advanced functionality. Just depends on what it is. Obviously this is a beginner video, so I'm not going to get into code, but if you see these images right here, this has for sale, a little like tag, if you will, on it. This one says new and this one says sold. So these, you know, this website is for an artist, repurposed by K, and they would like to be able to tell, you know, communicate to people if something on their website is for sale or not for sale or whatever. You know, eventually this could become an e-commerce website, but to keep the initial cost of getting the website live on the internet down, we did not incorporate e-commerce because there's a lot more that goes into, you know, developing an e-commerce store, and a lot of this stuff gets heavy. They work with a lot of metal. Some of it gets a little bigger, so bigger, heavier things, you know, are not exactly shipping friendly. So that's why we just decided to do it this way. So if I come in here to edit page, I will show you what's going on just so you have a full understanding. Come to theme options and you come down here to custom CSS. So this is where you can put in site-wide CSS, and this is the part right here, right at the top, just to make it easy for my client to find. There's a decent amount of CSS in here. Didn't really go crazy with CSS on this site, but so when you see this grayed out, that means this is just a comment. So codes have comments that are specifically made for people, so the browsers are not reading these or anything like that. It's just for the people looking at the code to understand what the code is doing. So art is for sale, add class sale, and then there's the class. Classes are noted out by dots in CSS, so dot sale, and we're using the before property, and here's the image that's coming up for before. This is in the media library. The position is absolute, z-index is 1000. You know, you don't need to worry about that stuff. You don't have to actually touch any of this stuff. unless potentially you wanted the image changed or whatever. But that's why this is working on this website. This is not going to work on your website if you don't have this code loaded in. So come into here, and so we're editing the page that has those classes on it just so I can show you. So this is an image module. Sometimes it does that, but if you click right on it, you'll get it. And we come to advanced, and this is where you put sale. For some reason, Divi does not want you to put the dot sale. As you see, when you put the dot, it does not work. It is just sale that you put in here. And any image that you want the for sale to put on, you put in the class of sale. If you wanted to have the new tag on it, you would come and put CSS class of new. And if you wanted the sold tag on it, you would put, guess what? Sold. So that's that. Come into here and say sale, boom. So that's how that's working. You know, just be a matter of as things sell or whatever, you just need to update those tags if you wanted everything to be displaying up to date and accurate on your website, which I think would be a good idea. Okay, so the last thing we have is create a new page. So what we'll do here is I'll come back to the live website really fast. And, you know, I think the most common thing that's, you know, this client specifically would be doing as far as adding a page would be possibly adding additional art categories. And I do know, you know, that's something they are already talking about. So that's the example I'm going to use in this website. But if we go to tables, I'm a big fan of consistency throughout websites. I just feel like the website should have the same look, feel, colors, spacing, etc. Font sizes and all this kind of stuff throughout the font in general. You know, all these things should be consistent. Like, why would every page on a website look different? And, you know, it would be like the user would be learning how to use every page on your website. I think you just come up with a clean, easy to navigate and read, consume, design, hopefully lead them to, like, this is basically what we're trying to do, like, just, hey, contact us. Are you interested in buying a piece? Can we make something specific for you? Stuff like that. So that's the table page. We come to quilts. We'll see the quilts is a little bit different. So same general feel here, rescued furniture. We're back to more like the tables page, but all very similar, right? So that's the deal. And even if we come to say about, the about is still similar, using kind of the same general layout, but, you know, every page gets altered as needed for the content that's displaying on that page. So let's come back to how you're going to add a new page. So you could say add a new page right here. You could come right here and say new page. You come new page. I mean, there's a million ways to do everything in WordPress. So let's just go to add new right here. And I know they're going to make this page right here, fabric portraits. I cannot spell to save my life, so I'm going to double check. That's how you spell fabric portraits. And I got it. So smart. Okay, so fabric portraits. This would actually want to go under repurposed art. If you see, all the other pages are in a hierarchy of, this is the repurposed art page. Like, you just want to structure your website to make sense. So all of the various types of art are under repurposed art. So we are going to put this under repurposed art too. So if this page was like an about page, a fact page, a review page, that would probably just be, no parent page would be selected, but this one we are going to do that. And then we're going to say use the Divi builder. And what I recommend you do is, once you have other pages on your website, just go to clone existing page. So potentially, if you wanted to replicate a certain page, you would just bring in that page. I'm going to use tables as the example. So boom. Okay, so now you can see right here, we're on the repurposed art fabric portraits page that we are still currently in the process of making, right? Because we have not published it. So it's not live on the internet yet. No one can go to this page, and it still has all the old content of the other page. So we don't want to, do this yet. So this would be an example of where you'd come in here and you'd say fabric portraits or whatever, right? Fabric portraits, recreate awesome fabric portraits, yada, 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 right? All right, you can just do whatever you want. So I'm just going to kind of strip this down a little bit, but that's that. Da, 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 da. Okay. So that's all that. You'd want to swap out the pictures, obviously. So we'd come find that big stop sign picture right here. We can see that's 960 by 600. So potentially you'd want to go create a fabric portrait picture that's 960 by 600. Once again, if it was taller, it wouldn't really matter, but the width does matter because this is half of the width of an average HD computer screen these days. So you just swap out your image with your new image, swap out your image, add your text, change your text, swap out your image, change your text, and that's that. Maybe this section just goes. See ya. Fabric portrait, photo gallery, fabric portraits. Okay, so that's that. Since I'm not going to publish this, I'm not going to publish it because I just don't want it in the sitemap for the website, so I'm going to save it as a draft. So it's just here, ready for them to finish whenever they're ready to create this page. So the last thing that is involved with creating a page is you'd want to add it to the menu. So we'll come back, and to get to the menu, you go to Appearance and Menus. And then this is not a live page yet, so I cannot actually do it, but I think you'll get the idea here. If you go to View All, you will know that you're seeing all of the pages. And if you just made a new page, it should very well be at the top of Most Recent. So it should be right here. You would just check it and then add to menu. Then once it's in the menu, you can move it around wherever you want. If it's all the way to the left, it's a top level menu item, and if it's under something, it's going to be in a drop down. So that's how that works. I'll just leave that right there. I have the Divi toolbox on here, so we use the CSS class of CTA link to style the CTA button, which in this case is the purchase art. So that's that, and since this is through the Divi toolbox, you do not need to know code. You can find that in Theme Customizer if you needed to change that. Just to show you one more thing that I don't think you would need. So see, it does have the save your butt feature, if you will, where it says, hey, you may have not saved changes you wanted to save or whatever, but I don't want to, so I'm just going to leave. But you would potentially save yourself right there. So you come to Theme Customizer, and like all of this stuff should be handled for you if you just had your website built, because it's a lot, but there's really not much to it. I just recommend, if you want to get familiar with it, just go through everything and play around with it. Just remember what the initial settings were so you can revert everything back to how it was. But general settings, you could change like the size of the font globally and all this kind of stuff. Here's the font used. And then Divi Toolbox adds its own thing right here where you can come in and do different stuff. So for example, the header would be the CTA menu button where you can style it. So you can see right here, background color, you pick the background color. The border color is also purple. The text color is white. As you can see, it's white. And then you have your on hover style. So when people hover over it, what is the change? And there's the changes. So we make the background and border green and the text black, and that's what's going on there. So no code needed. You just pick out your styling and move the stuff around, and that's that. All the stuff's written in plain English, so if you don't know what it is, you can always just Google it or just start playing around with it and see what happens, and that's that. Yeah, so that was everything within within Divi that I specifically had that I wanted to show my clients how to do. So we're going to move on real quick to stuff that I think you should know, and we'll go to google.com/business and come in here, manage now. So this is like, you're probably not going to have this many Google My Businesses to worry about, but I'm going to go to this client since I'm making this video for them, and we just literally just verified their Google My Business and stuff like this. I see that a lot. People that have not worked with a web company or anything like that, they may have not claimed their Google My Business. They probably don't have Google Analytics hooked up or Search Console or anything like that. So I highly recommend getting with a company that is reputable and will do all this stuff right and get you set up for success, because most of them actually will not. But most of the stuff's going to happen in info. You just want to go through here and make sure everything's looking good how you want it. Post is something that would be ongoing. So I changed this from furniture manufacturer to artist. So if you guys did want furniture manufacturer on there, I would put it as a secondary category down here, but I just don't really think it's applicable personally. So my recommendation is to leave it as an artist, because that is honestly the only category that is available. You can only pick from what is available. So you would start typing, and then based off the characters that you enter, you would see your options. So my advice is type in the first handful of letters of a bunch of generic words to describe what you do, what your business does, and see what is available to choose from. So we'll get out of there. I believe you guys do not want your address shown, so I would get that off of there. You can just delete it right out of there. Hours, I added the online service hours. I put in special hours. I created your short name. So this is how you would get your direct Google My Business review link. And you can grab your direct Google My Business review link on the home page tab. If we come down to where it says get your first review, share review form, and then you click right there and it's copied, and you can text this, you can email this, you can post this to social media, you can have a link on your website, however you want to use that. Since you guys have products and not necessarily services, which service is not even an option depending on what you enter as your business, the options change, so you don't see services here. You have products. So I've created one product so far, and that would be repurposed tables. So you probably want to come in here and edit this to whatever range you want and whatever text, but then I would also build out all of your other categories. So that would essentially be, everything under here should be listed as a product within Google My Business. Let's come back to the main page. Your highlights, there's none in here for you. I would recommend beefing this up. They allow for 750 characters. I'd add all those, and I would add the opening date, because if Google asks for something, I just say you give it to them as a best practice in general. We come to photos, and I added a cover photo, I added your logo, and then I added lots of photos, so a ton of photos. Website, you do not want to use website from Google My Business. If you have a custom built website, I would highly recommend getting a custom built website as soon as possible. If you need a completely free website with very limited functionality, get this right here. Reviews is where you'll be able to respond to your reviews. Insights, you'll be able to get a little bit of data. You can get way more out of Search Console and a little more out of analytics. And then posts is what you want to do with the posts is basically the main thing you're going to want to do is add an update and then add an event. If you're watching this and you have not added a COVID update, I would recommend adding a COVID update so you can clearly let Google know we are open during COVID. That would be crucial. And if you had, so I think I just mentioned that if you had an event, mark it up as an event, but we'll look at what's new is basically standard post to Google. Click in here, drag and drop your photo or search for it on your computer, whatever, write your information, and then always add a button, whether that's call or learn more on our website, or if any of these others would apply, right? So if we go to event, you get a couple new boxes here because Google knows events have times and dates and blah, blah, blah. So that's all that. You still have your CTA button. Always use the CTA button when you're making a Google post. It'd be kind of silly not to. So that's that. So I recommend you post to Google once or twice a week. Always respond to reviews. Try to get at least 10 reviews, and then my next hurdle would be get 50 reviews, get 100 reviews. If you can get over 100 reviews, your Google My Business will be rocking and rolling and stick out like a sore thumb. So, and that's just real life signals to Google that people appreciate your website, the content on the website, the value your business provides, so on and so forth. I never know how to get to all the different Google properties, so I just type it into Google Analytics, right? So you go to Google Analytics, and you have to be logged into your Google account, right? So I have all these clients in here. Let's go to repurpose by K. So once again, we just hooked everything up. This website is essentially getting wrapped up today, minus maybe a handful of things. So this data is what it is for a brand new website that is really officially getting done today. But you just really need to, if you're interested in learning this stuff, watch videos and whatnot on what you can do in here and stuff like that. What's going on here? Behavior acquisition. I like going to acquisition is where you can get some data right here. This is what I think you'd kind of be looking at the most. If we come to the info, I do want to show you something in case you think this looks funny. I have this tracking code added to your website. So it's yourwebsite.com and then the tracking code. The tracking code is going to note this out as GMB, or Google will be another line item right here, and that will tell you the clicks to your website that came specifically from Google My Business. So please leave that in there just so you can see that and it doesn't get lumped into organic search. I did set up a couple goals for you, which are back in here, goals. So 4+ pages viewed, a 5-minute stay, and a thank you page reach. So the only way someone's gonna reach the thank you page on your website is by filling out a contact form. They will be redirected to the thank you page. That would trigger a goal being met for that. And this is, if they stay on your website over 5 minutes, it'll say you got that goal complete, and over 4 pages are 4+. So they viewed 4 pages in total. To me, that's just saying they at least found some interest in your site and went and looked at a handful of pages. So these are just kind of basic things that I would want to know, and I just set up for my clients because it doesn't take hardly any time at all. Google Search Console. So this is the one that is much more important in my opinion. I'm not sure why I'm on this view right here. So we'll go repurpose by K. So if you notice, I've claimed and verified blah 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 everything for every version of the website. It's something to understand. I don't think a lot of people understand is there's actually 4 versions of a website. 2 have HTTP, 2 use HTTPS, and then you have the www version and the versions without the W's, right? So to view the data from everything, so everyone should be viewing this website, but every now and then somehow someone may end up on one of these other versions. Not that big of a deal. It should send them to this one every single time, no matter what they type in. But all the data gets merged into this. So this is where you would come to see this. And this isn't a great example because this just got hooked up. So there's nothing going on in this one. But if we go to, say, my home inspector client, you can see right here, they've got 1,800 clicks over the past 3 months, I believe. So past 3 months, 1,800 clicks. This is a very, high performing website, and they've, invested a lot in their online presence and whatnot over the years. And I've been working with them for 6 months and have, I believe doubled the traffic to their website. This is where we started working with them right here. So that's kind of what happens when we have an opportunity to really do a lot of work to a website. So, I don't think this is a great reference for my art clients that this video is for, because home inspectors are going to be searched for a lot more than recycled or repurposed art. So I do think getting people to your website would involve marketing in other forms, just because there aren't a ton of people that are searching for it. But with that said, if people are searching for it, I do believe they're going to find your website over the next 3 to 6 months. Google will realize that it is really a quality website that is all about repurposed art, and they're going to start showing it in the search results. So that's all that. So the thing I did want to show you in here is this right here. This is what people are typing in to find this website. So we can make this bigger, and what you see here is clicks and impressions. So impressions is the number of times that you are shown in the search results. Clicks is how many times you are clicked. You would have to be get an impression to be clicked. So here we go. So just a general home inspection term. Boom. Very, very vague, blah, blah, blah. But I would recommend export this data into a CSV file, and then you can manipulate it in Excel and get keyword ideas and all kinds of different stuff. But you can get different information on how well the pages are performing, which pages are going to, and it's all stuff that if you want to know more about, you just gotta learn it. There's all kinds of content on the internet. So I believe that is everything we were covering in the video. So I hope you liked it. I hope I kept it as short as possible. And if you did like it, remember to like and subscribe and leave a comment if you have a question. And yeah, thanks a lot for watching. Keep making money.